Touchscreens by Sunny Patel. History of touchscreens. The first touchscreen came out in 1965 and it was known as the capacitive touchscreen. It was invented by Eric A. Johnson in Malvern, England. At the time, it was mainly used by air traffic controllers. So here is the first touchscreen made by Eric A. Johnson. And again, this is a capacitive touchscreen, which we'll get more into detail as the video progresses. Then in 1966, the Palm Pilot was the first popular touchscreen device. It had handwriting recognition by using a pen / stylus and quickly became a staple in the business world. So here is the Palm Pilot, also known as the PDA, which you could write, draw, or do whatever you want with the stylus on. And then you had a bunch of buttons that could also control this device. Then in 1983, the first consumer touchscreen became available as the HP 150. So this was almost like a full-blown computer and had touchscreen capabilities, which was pretty surprising for the first consumer touchscreen in 1983. So it had a keyboard, it had a DVD tray, and it had also a bunch of buttons that you could use to function the computer as well. Then in 2007, Apple came out with the original iPhone, which revolutionized how touchscreens are used in society today. Now the screens that are used on the iPhones now and on the first iPhone, they are different, not in a whole lot, but a little bit different, as we will get into detail more in the video. But you'll see later on that there are more types of screens than there were back in the day. So you have a home button on the iPhone and rounded corners. This was the first iPhone in 2007. How touchscreens work. These touchscreens work by the means of an electric circuit. The electric circuit is constantly active within the screen and can be completed in two different ways within the two different types of touchscreens, resistive and capacitive touchscreens, which we'll get more into depth later on. So those corners are actually electric fields which have electricity in them. And then the finger that touches wherever on the screen, in this case the center, generates the electric current. When a finger touches the top layer of the device, its electric charge affects the device's capacitance and charge. Then the computer calculates the difference in capacitance between the finger and the device and the information where the finger touches the screen. After calculating, that information is passed on to the device's software. Software then, based on the information given, passes the operational signal forward to the display of the touchscreen. Types of touchscreens. There are two main types of touchscreens used today, capacitive and resistive touchscreens. In resistive touchscreens, there are two layers under a protective scratch-resistant layer, conductive and resistive. In between these layers are separators which keep these two layers away from each other. Once a finger presses the screen of the device, conductive and resistive layers are forced to touch each other. This touch changes the electrical field that has been running through the layers. Then the brain of the device notices the coordinates of a place where the electric field changed. These coordinates are then translated by a driver into a form that the operating system can understand. After that, the operating system can operate. Resistive touchscreens are most commonly used, but its disadvantage is that it cannot operate if more than one finger is touching the screen at once, since the computer cannot follow where the electric field is changing if there are several places. So this is the drawing of the resistive screen in its most basic form. And then here's the finger that presses down on the screen. Indium Tin Oxide, also known as ITO. There are two layers of indium tin oxides in capacitive touchscreens and resistive touchscreens. These two ITO layers consist of electron lines, and they are perpendicular to each other. One of these ITOs is called the driving line since it carries the current. The other is called the sensing line since it senses the amount of current and charge. It also notifies the spot where a finger has touched the screen and changed the charge. In between of these two ITOs, there's a separator. ITOs and the separator in between creates the device's capacitance. Under all these layers is the liquid crystal display, also known as the LCD. Capacitive technology is the most used technology in mobile devices. In capacitive touchscreens, there are more layers than in resistive ones. The top layer is the device's protective layer, and it is made of glass called aluminosilicate. Aluminosilicate is made stronger and more compressed after washing it in potassium. This layer's function is to protect everything that happens beneath this layer. These touchscreens beat resistive touchscreens on one matter. They work even if there's more than one finger on the screen, and it also senses the movement of the finger on the screen. Pros and cons of both capacitive and resistive touchscreens. The pros include they are very precise, they are speedy, they are easy to clean, and they are easy to use. The cons are as follows. They need to be cleaned often. They are expensive, especially of higher quality. Screen time increases, which is bad for the health, including the eyes. And the larger screen yields lower battery life, which increases battery consumption. Impacts in modern day. Newer touchscreen technologies are under development, but capacitive touchscreens remains the industry's standard for now. The biggest challenge with touchscreens is developing them for larger surfaces, as the electrical fields of larger screens often interfere with the sensing capabilities. They have made life easier by providing quick access to information, entertainment, business, and content. Touchscreens are found everywhere in life now. They are found on smartphones, cash registers, kiosks, and even computers now. Touchscreens are a trend that will continue to be improved upon in the future. And without touchscreens, these phones and many other devices would not be possible. That is it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time.